Hello everyone, my name is Hyper, and today I'm going to be walking through how to install the Darkflame Universe server for LEGO Universe using WSL, which stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux. Obviously you can only do this on the Windows version, and I'm not going through how to set up the server for external users. This is really just if you want to play alone. So to start off, you do have to have Windows. Can be done on Windows 10 or Windows 11, and it can be done on any version of Windows 11, but for Windows 10 you have to be on version 2004 or higher. So if you open up system information, you can look here and look at the version, and it needs to be higher than 19041. So I have 19043, so I am set to go. To install it, you open up the command prompt and you type in caps lock's on, WSL install, dash install, 2 dashes. And it will go through the process for you. You might have to make some confirmations, and it will restart your computer, and that install might take a while. So just be ready for that. And so if you haven't installed it yet, just bookmark the video and go and install this, and then come back and you can continue. I do recommend that your computer that is running this software has at least 8 gigabytes of memory, just because it uses 2 to 4 just for running the OS on top of Windows. So you do have to have a good amount of memory so that you don't run out. So the biggest issue here is that for legal reasons we can't exactly really say where you can get the client that you need for actually playing LEGO Universe. So I already have it here, but it's pretty easy to find on Google. You just search up LEGO Universe client. You're looking for version 1.10.64 of the client. That is the most recent version before they canceled the game, and that is what you are going to need to make this work. And you will need the unpacked client, not the packed client. Most of them are unpacked, but in some places you can find the packed version, and that doesn't give you any access to any of the files that you need. So make sure it's the unpacked version. So just download the client, unzip it, and then you will have your client folder, and these folders, make sure you have this res folder and all this stuff inside of it. There should be multiple folders. If you have the packed one, there's maybe like 1 or 2, and that's not really what you need. Before I begin, I just want to say that you can reach out to me on Discord or in the comments on this video, and I'll do my best to help. I'm not an expert at Linux. I have been using it for maybe 3 months now. Another great resource is the subreddit r/LEGO Universe. It's pretty active right now since the Darkflame server just came out, and people are super helpful there, and they also have a Discord server which would be infinitely more helpful than mine, so I do recommend checking there first if you do need any help. I documented as much as I could for myself to go through this process so that I don't miss any steps, and I'm hoping that the video is a lot shorter than an hour, because the most common video right now is the guide by Ellacor, and it is a good guide, it works, but I'm hoping that I can make this a little faster for everyone. But of course, this really wouldn't apply if you can't use WSL or don't have Windows. So I'm getting all this information from links that I will put in the description of the video. There's a couple files that you need to download from those links, and I'm using a modified guide that a user created, because the official directions are not very good at all. So I use that, and I was actually able to figure it out. So now I'm kind of just condensing that into a video. So we're actually going to begin now. So I'm assuming right now you have WSL installed, so you can open up the command prompt and then type WSL, and we need to set the default version of WSL to 1 because V2 has some issues with networking, so we need to make sure that it's set to 1. So just type what I typed there, and it should say completed successfully. And now we can go ahead and install Linux. So we'll do WSL -- install -d and then Ubuntu. So it did say Ubuntu is already installed because I already did this process before, and I'm just restarting. So it won't say that for you. It'll just say it'll start installing. And like it says, this will take a few minutes. Right, so eventually a prompt will pop up to put in a username. Unix is just the name of the operating system, just the framework for it. I don't know if that's the right word. Like I said, I'm not really an expert. But for this guide, I would say follow what I put, but you can put whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to name the username DLU for Darkflame Universe. And it's going to ask for the password. And when you start typing, nothing's going to show up. That's just a security thing. So be careful. It will ask you to confirm the password. But just watch what you're typing because you can't really see it. See, like that, I didn't type them right. Alright, so I actually typed it right that time. And now we are in Ubuntu. That easy. So first thing, we have to update the apt packages so that we can actually install things. And we have to run all the most commands we have to run with sudo because we cannot sign in as the root. There's just not a login for it by default. So this just elevates your permissions to be able to do things that a normal user really can't do. And so just type sudo apt update. Yeah, update first. And it will ask you for the password you just typed in. So enter that password and it will update all the packages from the internet. This will probably take a bit. Alright, the packages are updated, and now we need to upgrade any of the installed packages. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do sudo apt upgrade. And it might find some things it might not, so then you can just type Y to confirm that it's going to update all of these packages. There's a lot of them. Everything is upgraded now. We should be ready to continue with this process. So the next thing, which is exactly why we just did this process, is to install all the software that we need. So I'm doing sudo apt install and then -y, and that just confirms that I want to actually install all the packages without having to confirm them all individually, because there's quite a few. So we're doing gcc cmake build -essential and then zlib 1g -dev and then maria db -server python 3 and then python 3 -pip SQLite 3 net-tools. Then hit, wait, sorry, one more, unzip. Then hit enter, and all those will install. So when you are in the environment here, and you see this little tilde key, this one right, this one right here, and then a $sign, it's shorthand for the actual directory. So what we're really in is /home/ your username, which in this case is DLU. I don't know, I couldn't tell you why it does that, but that's just for reference, and I'll show you that visually in a bit. But right now we're just going to stay in this directory, and if it doesn't say that for you, you can type cd and it will take you there. So we are going to first download the Darkflame server code. So we're going to type git and clone --recursive, and then we're going to type in the URL for the repository for the Darkflame universe server. So github.com/dark. Oh, it is case sensitive. Everything here is case sensitive, and I would have just gotten an error if I tried to type that in with the capital F. So Darkflame universe /Darkflame server, and then it will clone it into a folder called Darkflame server, and then that is where we're going to be working out of. Alright, so now the folder is created, and I'm going to type in a command called ls. It just shows what's in the current directory you are inside, the folder. So now we can see that Darkflame server is now a folder. I don't know why this isn't in the middle. I'm sorry about that. Alright, so we can do cd Darkflame, you can press tab and it will auto fill. So now we are in here, and you can see it installed a lot of stuff, all the code. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new directory in here. So we can type mkdir, which stands for make directory, and then type build, and we can type ls, and we can see right here that build is now a directory here. And we want to go to this directory again, so type cd build, and now we're in build, and then we're going to make a directory, again mkdir, and then logs. So now we're done here. We can see that logs is now in here, and I just did that just to show you an example of how to use it on the command line, but you can actually access these folders using File Explorer, which is I'm assuming a lot more people are familiar with. So if you go to File Explorer, open it up, and then from anywhere you can go from your root or whatever, and then go to this top bar and just click on it. It'll highlight it, and then you can delete it, and then type 2 backslashes, so they're facing to the left, and then you can see type WSL $, hit enter, and it will take you to a network drive, and you can see your Ubuntu instance here, and this is the file structure for Linux. And this folder right here is the one I was talking about earlier. So home, and then user, DLU, and then now we're here, and we can see our Darkflame server folder. So this is what was created, and we can kind of see this visually now, and this is our build folder and the logs one we just made. So while we're here in the Darkflame server folder, not build, we can scroll down here and we can see cmake variables, and it's just a text document, so we can just open it up. And right here we need to check this net version, and we need to make sure that it is set to 171022. I think that the most recent version as of today, which is December 11th, it's already updated by default, but before it wasn't, so it's important just to check that to make sure. So now we have to go back to the command line and make sure that you are in /darkflame server /build, and we are going to type in cmake and then 2 periods ... Alright, and now that has been done, now we can type make -j2. And what that -j does is it limits how many cores of your CPU can be used, because there's a lot of people reporting that when they run that, especially if they have lower memory, like 8 GB or less, it just crashes their computer. And that's kind of just to make sure that you can safely run the program without destroying everything, you know. It might make it longer if you type it that way. You can type it without the core limiter, but I would suggest you do that, especially if you don't have a super powerful machine. So this will take a while, but it should be alright. Alright, that took forever, but it's done and there's no issues. So now we are going to move on to building the environment, and this is we have to create a database using MySQL. There's not really much to get into it because a lot of it's done automatically, but we do have to make it first. So we need to type sudo service mysql start, and then again, sometimes if you take too long it will ask for the password again, and that's fine. So now the server is started, super easy. So then we type sudo mysql -u, and then so I think this is a user by default, so you just -u and then root, that's the username. So it's it says -u, and then right after that, that's where you put the username, and the username we're looking for is root. So now we are in the interface for MariaDB. This functions differently than the normal command line, just because it uses its own language. So the first thing we're going to do is change the password of the root user, because we need the password to actually connect to this database when using the Darkflame Universe server. So we're going to type in caps alter space user, and then this is a single quote, so root, and then single quote again, and then @ symbol, and single quote local host, single quote identified by, and then inside these two quotes here, you're going to type your password. This is in plain text when you're typing it, so I'm not going to type it right now, but this is where you would put the password. So this is an example of what this would look like. Note that in MariaDB you have to have a semicolon at the end of the line, or else nothing will happen and it gets kind of broken. So make sure that that semicolon is there after you type out all this. Since I can't really show it on screen, I'll do it last, but now we can move on to creating the database itself. So I'm going to type create database, and then we'll just call it DLU, and then semicolon. And then it says query OK, one row affected. That database is created. Now we're going to type use DLU semicolon. So now we are in the database for Darkflame. So now we're going to type source / migrations. I don't know if I mentioned it, I might have, but make sure that you are in the build folder here when you run this command, this sudo mysql-u root, because now it's relying on this. This .. is telling it to go from the build folder back to the Darkflame server folder and then into this directory. That's basically what it's doing. So /migrations /DLU, and then /0_initial .sql semicolon, and that just built up the database. So now there's actually information in, so we can see that information by typing show tables semicolon, and then there's all the stuff. And to get out of it, you just type exit and then hit enter. Alright, so now that we're out of the database, now we can I'll make this as easy as I can from now on, and I'm going to try and use the interface here. So we can go to File Explorer and go to Darkflame server and then go to build, and then we are going to the folder's already here, it got created, but if it's not, just create a new folder and call it res, and then we need to go back to the Lego Universe client folder and go to that res folder and copy everything. The official guide doesn't say that you need to copy everything, but you might as well. It's easier that way. Just make sure you're not missing everything. If you don't have the space or your hard drive's too slow to copy over everything, the things that the Darkflame Universe creators want you to copy is, let's see, the brick models folder, the macros folder, the names folder, and the maps folder. And then one other thing is the chat plus _en_us.txt. Alright, so now everything is copied over to the Darkflame server folder. The next step is to get the nav meshes, and I will have a link to these in the description, but it is this link that has the blob in it and then navmeshes.zip, and to download it you just click view raw or download, and it will download the zip file for you. You just unzip it, and inside you'll have this folder here. So we're going to take it to build, and then res, and then maps, and then we're going to create, well, actually I can just drop it in. You make sure it's in the nav mesh folder, and then inside you'll have all these text documents. So it needs to be in its own folder inside maps, nav meshes. Alright, and then we're going to go back to the build directory and find the locale folder. If it's not there, create it. And then we're going to go to the client, and we are going to find locale.xml, and that is in the res folder. Oh, actually, sorry. It's in the locale folder and then locale.xml. You just copy that and paste it into this locale folder. Alright, next we're going to download the LCDR utilities, which is from this one right here. Sorry, it's a separate GitHub page. This link will also be in the description. You can download it and set it up manually using the tutorial, but we're gonna do somewhat more of an advanced move, but it's really not that hard. I'll just tell you exactly what you need to do. So make sure, again, you're in the build folder. Most of the commands we run will be in the build folder unless I say otherwise. So you're going to type pip install git, so git, and then a plus symbol, and then you're going to type in the URL of the utilities repository. So github.com/lcdr/utils, and then it will clone it and then create the directory. Alright, so once you run that command, you can go to the file explorer and go to Ubuntu, and then home, dlu, and then .local, and then lib, Python 3.8, site packages, utils, and then now we're in here. And what we need to get out of this folder is this fdb to SQLite.py. And the instructions have you just run it from this folder, but when I was setting it up before, I found that it did not work properly. So what we need to do is we need to copy this file and go back to our client folder, and we are just going to go to the res folder, and then we are going to paste it in. So now we can see that this file is here, and what we need to do is navigate in Linux to our Windows drive. So we're going to change the directory to the C drive, and it depends on where you keep it. I have mine on my desktop, so I want to type in the path to the desktop, but basically all you need to do is go to the client folder, and you can click on the top bar and it will show you exactly what the path is, and you just need to copy this. So I'm looking for C, users, hyper, desktop, Lego universe, and that could be different. It could just be in the root of the C drive. It could be wherever you put it, and you just want to check that and replicate it here. So do cd and then /mnt, which stands for mount, and then C, which is the letter of the drive, and then I'm going to put my path in, so users, hyper, desktop. And again, this is case sensitive, so if the folder has a capital, make sure it has a capital. And then Lego universe, and then now we are in that folder on our Windows desktop. So from here we are going to run a long code. I am going to paste it in, but you can pause it and copy it from here. I'll make this wider so that you can see it without being cut off. So it's Python 3, and then this is the directory to your client folder, and you need to make sure, just do exactly what you did when you changed the directory to here. So again, for me it was mount C users hyper desktop Lego universe, and then you're gonna go to the res folder, and then you are going to type in the file name of the file we just copied over, and then right after that you're gonna put in quotes, you're gonna put the path, the same path to the same folder, the res folder, and then instead of fdb to SQLite, you're gonna do cd client.fdb, and once you hit that, it's basically gonna take this this file. It's going to use this file to convert the original client FDB file into the correct file type that we need. So once that little command finishes, we can go back to the Lego universe folder, and I'm not sure why I didn't put it in the res folder, but it's actually in the parent folder here. You were looking for sdclient.sqlite. So all we did was convert it to this file type and structure. So now we can go back to our Ubuntu drive and go to the Darkflame server folder, and we are going to go to build and then res, and then we're going to paste it in. Oh, sorry, that's not paste. We're going to copy it and paste it in, and then we're also going to rename it. So we're going to rename it to capital CD and then capital S server. So now that file is named that. So now back to the command prompt, we're going to do cd/home/dlu/darkflame server/build. So now we're in the build folder, and we are going to run a couple of commands that are going to update some tables or create some table files for us. So we're going to do SQLite 3 res/cd server, the file we just created, and then we're going to have a space, and these have to be typed exactly as they are, else it's not going to go well. So then you're going to do a opening bracket, and then a space, and then a double quotation, and then dot dot 2 periods /migrations /cd server /0 underscore, let me expand this, sorry, 0 underscore nt underscore footrace.sql. So it's spelled FOOTRACE. And then we're going to do closing quotation and hit enter. Okay, sorry for that cut there, but you do need to run it with sudo at the beginning. That was my bad. Sometimes it says it's a read-only database and you just don't have permissions to edit it. But if you run it as sudo and enter your password, then it should be okay. So we have to do this 2 more times. And instead of typing it all again, if you hit the up arrow, it will go to your most recent command. And we can go back and edit this. Just use the left and right arrows to navigate through this. And we can go here and we can delete this 0 string, and we can change it to 1 underscore fix underscore overbuild underscore mission. Then hit enter again, and it will do nothing. If it does nothing, that's a good thing. And then we'll do it one more time, and we'll do 2 underscore script underscore component. Hit enter, and we're all good. So if there's nothing, that's perfect. And that was the one I had issues with before. But if you do the way I did it, where you copy it to the where you use the file in the client folder itself, then it should go okay. So we're done with the SQLite portion of this tutorial, and we are almost on the home stretch. We just gotta set up a few things to make sure it actually works. So we're going to go to the build directory again, and we're looking for 4 files here. We're looking for auth config, chat config, master config, and world config. But first, we are going to go to the command line, and we're going to type host name dash capital I, and then we're going to type the vertical bar. This is right above the enter key, and the same key is the backslash, so you hold down shift and hit that key, and it will type this vertical bar. And that's basically just saying run this command on the left of it first, and then anything after it, run it again. Run it after it. So I'm going to type AWK, and then a single quotation, then a curly bracket, which is again above the enter key and a little bit to the left, and then print, and then $1, and then a curly bracket, and then a single quote. And what this is going to do is it's going to put out your IP address for the computer. I'm going to blur this because it's my IP address, and I'm going to be using this server after. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this IP address and add it to the files I was just mentioning. So I'm going to hide this, and I'm just going to use a placeholder IP address while I show you how to do this. So just go to the first auth config.ini file, and you can click edit. It should open in Notepad. If that doesn't work, you can go to open with and then click open with Notepad. So go to edit, and you can see here right at the beginning it's asking about your database, and this is what we set up earlier. So we're gonna have to enter this information 4 times between these files. So MySQL host should equal localhost, and then the database, if you named it the same as I did, is DLU, and then the username is root, and then the password is whatever password you set up in that step. So hopefully you didn't forget it. And before we move on from this one, I'm not going to type the password right now. We go here to external underscore IP equals, and then type in your IP address. And this is just a placeholder, so don't type this one. Type the one that you got from that command that we just run. So then you click save, and then we're going to go to chat config, and type in the same information here, and then also do the same thing, put our IP address right here. Then click save on that one, and go down to master config. And again, we're doing the same thing. Put in our database information and our IP address. And then lastly, we're going to go to world config, and we are going to put in our database information, and that's it for this file. Alright, and then we got just a few more steps until we run the server. So we're going to go back to our LEGO Universe folder once again, and we're going to open up this boot.cfg. It stands for config. So we're going to right click it, and might give you an option to open it with something. We're going to open it with, and then we can click more apps, and then we can choose Notepad from here. If you have Notepad++ installed, it will allow you to open it that way. But what we're looking for here is, it should be like it's the third line. It says auth server IP, and again, we are typing in that IP address that we got from that command. So that's all we had to do for that file. And now we are going to go to the res folder, and we are going to look for the scripts folder right here, and then we're going to go to AI, and then we're going to look for minigame and survival. Alright, so now that we're here, we're going to click on this zone survival client.lua, and we're going to open it with, and then we're going to open it with Notepad. So this one's pretty big, but all we have to do is scroll right to the bottom, and there's one line right here. It says player ready self. All we need to do is add on, and then we can click save. If it prompts you to save it as a new file and it has a .txt at the end, just delete the .txt and it will overwrite the file. So we just had to do that real quick to fix a bug in the survival game mode. But now that we've done that, we can go back to the command prompt and we can finally get ready to start our server. So what we're going to do is we're going to type sudo, and then make sure you're in your build directory, and type // master with a capital M, and then server with a capital S, and then -a. And what this is going to do is it's going to create an account for you to actually log in with. So you can make it any username you want. You can make this password anything you want. Again, it's not going to show what you're typing. And this time it does not ask you to confirm, so just be careful of that. So it's going to say account created successfully, and now we're going to type sudo and then .master server again, but with no -a. And if everything goes well, it might ask if the firewall, if you want to allow that, just allow it. These are the config files we were messing with. So it's all loaded up. It says ready zone 0. Hopefully there was no errors there for you. If not, go join the Discord and ask, because I don't know what happened. Now we're just going to go to legouniverse.exe, open that up. And here we are in the game. We're going to type in our username that we just created and the password we just made. Click sign in. And our childhood has been reclaimed. We are officially in our private server, and we are at the character creator, and we can relive our good memories. I have not played this in a very long time, and this is actually the first time of me getting the game to work, so it's pretty cool seeing this. I do really like it though. So that's basically all you needed to do. It shouldn't take you more than an hour. I'm not sure how long the video is going to be after I edit it all down, because it was kind of messy here and there, and a lot of things took a long time. So that's really all you need to do. If you want to close the server, you type, when you're in here, you go to the command prompt and you hit the control key and then type C. That'll just tell the server to quit. So if you've restarted your computer and you want to start up the server again, just open the normal command prompt and type WSL-D Ubuntu and hit enter. And then it will load up the Linux environment in that command window, and you will type in, I'll type it here. I already have it open, but you type sudo service mysql start, and that's one we typed earlier, but we need to type it again to actually get the database running. And then you will change the directory to the Darkflame server, so you can do Darkflame, type it right, server, and then /build, and then again you're gonna run the master server command, so sudo /master server, and then the server will start again, and that's all you need to know. And you can see like client requests in the command prompt. You can, like, when this is me logging in, you can see that it tells me what client version is connecting to this server. Again, I'm not going to show you how to create other users or allow people outside of your local network to actually connect to it. But if you just want to play along, go in, relive your childhood, this is probably the fastest way to do it, and the one with the least heartache. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Again, you can ask in the comments in my Discord. Go to r/LEGO Universe, communicate with people there, join the Discord. If you need any help. I'm not the perfect place to go for help, but I can do what I can. So thank you for watching. Again, all the links to my resources, the subreddit, my Discord are all in the description, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you.